Guild Wars 2 is an action game. It's not based on random number generators, it's based on timing. It's not just two characters standing next to each other exchanging dice rolls.
You do a lot of dodging. If a big attack comes in, you can roll out of the way.
You're always in the moment, focusing on what's happening. If I want to block, I just put up a shield and I actually block the attack.
In Guild Wars 2, we changed the way we kind of unlock skills.
As you're fighting, you unlock new skills on this weapon.
What you hold is what you get. Whether you're holding a sword or whether you're holding a staff will really change up the skills that you get. We also allowed you to interact with your friends and your allies, allowing you to really combo with your friends in interesting and creative ways.
If someone on your team, like an elementalist, throws down a firewall, you can use your rapid fire skill and just unload a bunch of shots through the wall that'll set those arrows on fire.
We really try to make it easy for someone to come in, pick it up, grab a hold of our combat, and play. And in Guild Wars 2, we really want you to be able to play what you want to play, when you want to play it, where you want to play it. And the way we did that is all of our professions can adapt to almost any situation.
When you're out in the world adventuring, it doesn't matter who you run into. If you all are playing the same profession, you can still all play together.
Anyone can be a support character. Anyone can be a damage dealer. A thief can become a really good tank with all of his evasion capabilities against really slow hitting opponents.
It has the action of a shooter, the strategy of an RTS, and the depth of an MMO.
The dynamic event system in Guild Wars 2 is really our attempt to take the traditional quests in a traditional MMO and really throw those out the window and to create something bigger and better than what people have experienced before.
We're trying to create a living and breathing world. So what that means is when you enter an area, there won't be static NPCs just waiting around for you to go up and talk to them. When you enter that area, there's going to be things happening. There's going to be centaurs attacking, other NPCs defending and having battle lines move back and forth. You'll see buildings on fire. You'll see catapults launching over the walls.
Part of the problem with traditional MMO quests is nothing you did actually makes a difference in the world. You might walk up to a guy and he'll say, hey, my daughter got kidnapped by ogres and I need you to go rescue her. Well, in Guild Wars 2, what would actually happen is the ogres would come into the town in the form of a dynamic event. You would see them charge into the town, break down the walls, kidnap the daughter, and run off with her. And players could band together to try to stop the ogres from kidnapping her. And if they don't do that, the ogres take the daughter back to their cave and they put her there, and a new dynamic event kicks off in the world where you need to rescue her from the ogres. So it has meaning, it has consequence in the world.
In Guild Wars 2, we don't penalize you for playing in groups.
So in a traditional MMO quest, you're out in the world and you see another player running up, you go, no, they're going to ruin my experience, they're going to steal my kills.
You'll get just as much experience as the other people fighting there with you, whether you're in a party or not.
The more players that are participating in the event, the more difficult the event becomes, the more creatures who come to attack. So you're always working with other players.
You can play with anybody. You can play with the people you're just running through the world with. They don't have to be people you know outside of the game. They don't have to be people you've built a party with.
Guild Wars 2 has the most replayability of any MMO ever made, period. Doesn't even come close. You might go through a map and experience completely different content than the last time you yourself went through that map. You literally never know what you're going to find every time you log in to play Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2 is specifically a game about you. It's a game where your story is as important as any story we've built into the game. What we want is for the player to feel like a hero and to feel like they've really changed the world around them. So we built a story into the game that's set on a series of scenarios that you choose your way through so that the story is different for every player and so the story really reflects the game you want to see. You begin your story the minute you turn the game on. You're asked a series of questions about your character in the game that start with the basic questions of what race are you going to play, what class are you going to play, but then get a little more in depth. If you're an Asura, which is our most intelligent race, you may have been asked, what invention did you create as a child? And so you're following that invention through the world and seeing how it has changed things and maybe fixing it because something has gone horribly wrong. We want the game to be social, we want the game to be interactive because being a hero isn't something you do in an isolated place. So we've made sure that your friends can group with you, they can go on your story. They can't make your choices for you, but they can see the choices you've made and they can help you evolve through these quests and succeed and become the hero that your character is meant to be.
Guild Wars 2 competitive PvP is going to ask players to control 3 different strategic points on any PvP map. And controlling these 3 capture points is what's going to decide who wins and who loses. On top of that, you also get credit for kills for killing the enemy team.
The variety of the locations that you can fight over is ridiculous. You could fight on a pirate ship, you could fight in a city that's under siege, you to fight in a haunted forest.
And every single map is going to be different with a different secondary mechanic.
You can get on trebuchets and rain fiery death on your enemies who are fighting in the city, and you can commandeer cannons on a pirate ship to use for your advantage.
There are two major ways that you can get into a game. You can have a structured 5-on-5, or you can just jump in and play in a 10-on-10 hot joinable match.
As soon as you make your character from level 1, you can jump to the PvP lobby. And from there, you are level 80. You have a full range of skills that you can test out in the lobby. You can get right into the action.
We're not going to ask you to bring a calculator. We're not going to ask you to bring a spreadsheet.
You play the game instead of playing the UI.
You're going to have to be mobile. You're going to have to be fast. Analyze your opponents. Look at their strategy. Look at their tactics. It's about you bring your A game and I bring my A game. And at the end of the day, one of us goes home licking their wounds. That's what competitive PvP is about.